naira by the end of December 2018.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Ibikunle Amosu.
The bridegroom CARMEL says Apostle Suleiman. Opposition party in Burkina Faso reappoints leader. Leftist Gabriel Boric wins Chile presidential election. Federal government implementing reforms to attract more investment, says the MO. Osimhen now to return January 16 against Bologna. You're welcome to Celebration Television News Desk. I'm Akosile Nicholas Walter. And I would like you to stay with us as we bring you details of the news after this very short break. Don't go anywhere. You're welcome back, and now the news in details. As days stands to months and months into years, so the convergence of Christian faithfuls at the Omega Fire Ministry headquarters in Auchi keeps waxing stronger in Christ. Win Mama has the rest of the story.
The atmosphere of the Christmas season is in the air as the interior decoration of the church highly described the season without words. The senior pastor of Omega Fire Ministries, Apostle Johnson Suleiman, who doubles as the founder, took the scripture and preached about the 10 virgins in the book of Matthew in the message he titled The Bridegroom Cometh. Teaching the congregation on what they need to have while waiting for the coming of Christ, he advised that it is not enough to have oil, but to have an extra oil, not to be like the 5 foolish virgins.
The Bible said there were 10 virgins. I expected the Bible to say there was a virgin. If God has used one, he would have still driven home his point. If Jesus had used 2, he would have said one was wise, one was foolish. Is that not correct? Is that not correct? 5 year wise, 5 year foolish. 5 year wise, 5 year foolish. 5 year wise. Why 5? He's talking about virgins, and he said 5. See, if virgin means one who has kept himself or herself from sin. And Jesus said 5 wise virgins, 5 foolish virgins, and we know that 5 is the number of grace. He was trying to say, to keep yourself in this world, you need grace.
However, he admonished the congregation on the Christmas season and warned that it is not a deadline to achieve anything in life. While speaking to the thousands of congregation and online viewers, he prayed for them.
The God of heaven will attend to your needs.
Amen.
The God of heaven will surprise you.
Amen.
Especially this week. It shall be your week of surprises.
Amen.
The high point of the service was the prophetic session, after which ended in an almost unending praise session.
The fountain of life is flowing everywhere. Whosoever drink shall never ever thirst again.
The fountain of life is flowing everywhere. Whosoever drink shall never ever thirst again.
The fountain of life is flowing everywhere. Whosoever drink shall never ever thirst again.
The fountain of life.
Win Momo reporting for Celebration Television News Desk.
And moving forward, ASU postpones decision on strike, accuses federal government of blackmail. The Academic Staff Union of Universities has postponed its decision on strike, saying that consultations are still ongoing. This was contained in a press statement issued by the union after its National Executive Council meeting. And the meeting held at its Festus Iyayi National Secretariat, University of Abuja, to review the level of government's implementation of the FGN-ASU Memorandum of Action of December 23, 2020, and other related matters. In the press statement titled "Enough of Blackmail," signed by ASU President Professor Emmanuel Osodeke, the lecturers regretted that the federal government had turned its back on the plan to set up an interministerial committee to review the draft renegotiated 2009 FGN-ASU agreement. Earlier, ASU had announced plans to embark on a strike over the federal government's failure to meet its demands. Apart from the end academic allowances, ASU said its demands included the review of the NUC Act to curb the proliferation of universities by state governments who are not funding the existing ones, adoption of the University Transparency Accountability Solutions with current or concurrent discontinuance of the integrated payroll and personnel information systems and distortion in salary payment. Others are the release of accumulated promotion arrears and the review and signing of the draft documents on the renegotiation of 2009 ASU FGN agreement. In another development quickly, pensioners fume over governors linking pension payment to subsidy. Pensioners across the country took a swipe at state governors for linking payments of pensions and gratuities to the removal of fuel subsidy. Delta, Cross River, Osun, and Kano States chapter of the Nigerian Union of Pensioners said that it was wicked for the governors to hinge the payment on the removal of fuel subsidy. The Nigerian Governors Forum, in a communique released after its meeting on December 16 and read by its chairman and Ekiti State Governor Dr. Kayode Fayemi, said the governors has resolved to include settlement of all outstanding pension obligations as part of the social compact with citizens for the removal of fuel subsidy. The Delta State pensioners called on the state government to pay them, and the Vice Chairman Association Contributory Pension Scheme, Nigerian Union of Pensioners, Delta State Council State, and Mr. Anthony Osanoku, in an interview in Asaba, condemned the NGF. According to him, since 2017, the Delta State government has not paid pensioners. The Kano State Chairman of the State Chapter of Nigerian Union of Pensioners, Salisu Gwale, in an interview said the state government owed pensioners to 28 billion naira pensions, gratuities, and death benefits. And quickly coming from around Africa, opposition party in Burkina reappoints leader. The main opposition party in Burkina Faso, CDP, has re-elected A.D. Komboigo as its leader, and the election took place on Sunday during the 8th Congress in the capital, Ouagadougou, and the party presented a new political bureau comprised of 89 members that marks another 10 for the party founded 25 years ago. President of the Congress for Democracy and Progress, A.D. Komboigo, thanked them and assured them that they have made the right choice. He promises fair management of the party and will work for a great rally. The party confirmed former leader Blaise Compaoré as honorary president and vowed to increase internal cohesion. Eddie Komboigo promised to carry out an extensive reform plan with a view to increase support among the grassroots. Still coming from around Africa, mass anti-coup protests hit Sudan. Thousands of Sudanese on Sunday took to the streets of the country's capital, Khartoum, making 3 years of protests that touched off a popular uprising that led to the overthrow of longtime President Omar al-Bashir. Early reports suggested that security forces had fired tear gas at the protesters near the Republican Palace in the capital, chanting against the current military chief, General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, who led a coup on October 25th. The generals had initially detained civilian leader Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok for weeks under effective house arrest, but reinstated him on November 21st. The move, however, separated many of Hamdok's pro-democracy supporters, who dismissed it as providing a coat of legitimacy for Buhari's coup. And previous protests against the military takeover have been forcibly dispersed by the security forces. Nationwide, at least 45 people have been killed and scores more wounded, according to Independent Doctors Committee. On Sunday, authorities shut off bridges linking the capital, Khartoum, with its twin city, Omdurman, but large crowds still gathered. We'll go on a short break. We'll come back. We'll bring you updates from Latin America. Do well to stay with us. Don't go anywhere.
I am for peace, but when I speak, they are for war. This is where we hold them. This is where we fight. This is where they die. Operation Jabez 2021.
You cannot die like a chicken. You cannot die by accident. You will not be slaughtered or wasted. You will not bury your children. You will not bury your loved ones. You don't serve a dead God.
2019, 30th December 2021 by 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. daily GMT is one. Happening at the International Worship Center, Omega Fire Ministries, Kilometer 132 Benin Okene Abuja Expressway, Auchi, Edo State, Nigeria. For inquiries, call
Welcome back, and many thanks for staying with us once again. Now, updates from Latin America. Leftist Gabriel Boric wins Chile presidential elections. Leftist candidate Gabriel Boric has won Chile's presidential election after an early concession from his far-right rival, Jose Antonio Cast. Mr. Cast conceded defeat barely an hour and a half after polls closed and with around half of ballots counted. With most of the votes counted, Mr. Boric won with 56% and Mr. Cast trailed with 44% of the votes. The election has been one of the most polarized in recent decades and comes after mass anti-government protest. Both candidates offer starkly different visions for the country, and both are outsiders representing political parties that have never been in government. At 35 years, Mr. Boric will become one of the world's youngest political leaders and the youngest president in Chile's history. Once the most stable economy in Latin America, Chile has one of the world's largest income gaps, with 1% of the population owning 25% of the country's wealth, according to the United Nations. Mr. Boric has promised to address this inequality by reforming Chile's pension and healthcare system, reducing the work week from 45 to 40 hours, and boosting green investments. Now, more updates coming from Europe. Pope Francis condemns domestic abuse as almost satanic. Pope Francis has condemned domestic violence against women as almost satanic in some of his strongest language yet on the issue. The head of the Catholic Church made the remark during a program broadcast on Italy's TG5 network. He spoke to a panel of 4 people from difficult backgrounds, including a survivor of domestic abuse. He spoke with a woman named Giovanna, who said she had escaped from a violent home with her 4 children. The Pope added that women who suffered abuse had not lost their dignity. Since the start of the coronavirus pandemic, Pope Francis has made several comments about domestic abuse. Incidents of abuse have increased in a number of countries as many people are left trapped with their abusers during lockdown. According to a United Nations report which covered 13 countries, half of women surveyed said they had experienced some form of violence since the start of the pandemic. In Italy, police figures released last month reported around 90 episodes of violence against women every day. 62% of these were domestic abuse cases. And quickly we'll go straight to business news. And federal government implementing reforms to attract more investment, says the above. The Debt Management Office has said the federal government is implementing several reforms to attract more investments into the country. The Director General, DMO, Ms. Patience Oniha, said this during the 3rd edition of Coronation Merchants Bank's visual interactive session series themed Nigeria Moving Beyond COVID-19, Opportunities for Investments. And while delivering the keynote address, she said the Nigerian economy remained resilient despite economic and social headwinds elicited with the pandemic. According to her, the composition and diversification of the country's gross domestic product and revenue base make for more stable growth going forward. And the Senior Vice President of FMDQ Group, Emmanuel Etadihi, said countries borrow for very valid reasons, mostly to put them in a stronger position in terms of economic strength. The Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer, Coronation Merchants Bank, Banjo Adegbongbe, noted that the COVID-19 pandemic had compounded the challenges of raising debts for developing countries, including Nigeria. And still on business news, Buhari inaugurates Kano-Maiduguri Road linking Bauchi Jigawa. The federal government's investment in road transport infrastructures continue to impact positively on communities across the country. President Muhammadu Buhari has inaugurated the Kano-Maiduguri Road Section 2 connecting Jigawa and Bauchi states. A statement issued in Abuja by the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing stated that the recently inaugurated 142.2-kilometer dualized road has increased to 5 the number of such roads completed and handed over to various communities in Nigeria within 3 weeks. The president described the newly inaugurated roads as part of federal government's many roads to prosperity. According to Buhari, the abuse of roads could take the form of overloading of vehicles and trucks, which would accelerate pavement damage, spilling of petroleum products that dissolves all the components and allows water to penetrate into the roads. Other forms of road abuse, he said, included converting the road shoulders to permanent parking places, as this will bring the onset of road failure from the shoulder. Buhari also noted that both those employed directly to build the roads and the scores of suppliers employed directly or indirectly by providing the machines utilized in the constructions, were not only nation builders, but also the heart of the Nigerian economy. We'll go on a short break. We'll come back. We'll bring you sport news. Do well to stay with us.
Unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1. It's time to fulfill the scriptures. Here comes something huge. Are you a singer, an upcoming gospel artist? Do you have what it takes to be the next gospel music star? JOLIZ Records brings you Kingdom Voice Talent Hunt to build your passion and fulfill dreams. Hurry now, reach us on the following numbers, or simply send a mail.
Gospel music ministers, I need you to be part of this talent hunt. Kingdom Voices. God bless you.
Don't miss out.
You're welcome to Sports News, and on Sports News, Osimhen now to return January 16 against Bologna. Napoli's Victor Osimhen could return to action by mid-January when the Partenopei face Bologna in their quest to win the Serie A title for the first time in 3 decades. The Nigerian international suffered multiple fractures on his face after a clash with Inter defender Milan Skriniar on November 21st in their 3-2 loss to the Serie A champions. Despite initial suggestions that the striker will be out for 90 days after his surgery, the Partenopei were optimistic that the Nigerian international could return in the mouth-watering clash against AC Milan at the San Siro on Sunday. Unfortunately, the 22-year-old was unable to feature, having just resumed training with a protective mask. Reports said Napoli expected Osimhen to be fit for the clash against Juventus on January 6th, but according to an Italian publication, the Nigeria could now return against Bologna January 16. The Nigerian striker, before his injury, had scored 9 goals in 14 games across all competitions, while providing 2 assists. Quickly, in another sports news now, Bayern Munich will not sign Haaland, says president. Bayern Munich president Herbert Heiner on Sunday ruled out bidding for Dortmund striker Erling Haaland and hopes record-breaking forward Robert Lewandowski finishes his career with the Bavarian giant. Haaland, 21, is under contract at Dortmund until 2024, but could leave in 2022 when a release clause in his contract reportedly for around 80 million euros becomes active. The Norwegian has scored 76 goals in 35 Dortmund games since January 2020 and is regarded as one of the hottest properties in European football. Mino Raiola, Haaland's agent, recently said there is a great chance that Erling will leave at the end of a season, naming Bayern, Real Madrid, Barcelona and Manchester City as possible destinations. But Heiner has made it clear Bayern are extremely happy with Lewandowski, who joined on a free transfer from Dortmund in 2014. And Lewandowski is the Bundesliga top scorer this season with 19 goals and has netted 324 times in 354 Bayern appearances. It was the second time this year he has broken a long-standing record set by Bayern legend Gerd Müller after Lewandowski finished the 2020-2021 season with a new record of 41 league goals. And that has brought us to the end of our news on Celebration Television News Desk. And here are the news making the rounds. The bridegroom CARMEL says Apostle Suleiman. Opposition party in Burkina reappoints leader. Leftist Gabriel Boric wins Chile presidential elections. Federal government implementing reforms to attract more investment, says the MO. Osimhen now to return January 16 against Bologna. Quickly, we have photo of the day. And today's photo of the day is somebody out there in a locked place trying to peek. There's a plank somewhere, there is a key in another place. So if you happen to be that person, which will you go for? Is it the key or the useless one? What does that depict? The choices we make in life determine our placement in destiny. The choices we make in life determines our placement in life and destiny. You can drop your comment on our social media platform on Facebook, Celebration TV, Instagram, My Celebration TV, Twitter to us at My Celebration TV, YouTube, Celebration TV. Do not forget that your positive contribution to the wellness of the society you find yourself or the organization you work defines your leadership mind. As an individual who knows what to do and do without expecting to be pushed, has backed these ways to success. Be it known today that everything we do, think, feel, and believe either has a positive or negative effect on humanity and our national well-being. Be a part of nation building today. Many thanks for staying with us on the news desk. We really do appreciate, and I remain Akosile Nicholas Walter. Lovely day ahead. To 15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross of. The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor Ibikunle Amosun